Alright guys, here is the introduction for today's tow.
So what we got is we got a, I guess county dispatch call. There was a bunch of bikes pulled over from a well-known motorcycle club in Southern California. They're traveling through, I guess they found some trouble somewhere and basically got pulled over, and we actually drove past them when they were pulled over. There was probably 10-12 bikes total. Yeah, 3 different groups of them. Looked like the same motorcycle club. And basically, it sounds like they had a whole bunch of stuff wrong, and a handful of them ended up going to jail.
We're not 100%
so,
sure.
Yeah, not sure what exactly all went on, or what happened, or how it all went down, but
Doesn't matter.
basically, in the long and short of it, we got 6 Harleys that we have to pick up today. Tyrone's already out at the 96 mile marker, I-80 westbound, and he's going to get 2 and maybe 3 bikes on his truck. I'm headed out to the 98 mile marker, I-80 westbound, and I think we're going to be able to get 3 on this truck. It all just comes down to the type of bike and what we got for tie downs. So the 3 bikes we're picking up, 2 of them aren't full dressers. One of them is a bagger for sure. The other ones don't have the hard bags on them. So we should be able to get them on the truck side by side. We'll see how it goes when we get there. Okay, center handle down.
Over here?
That side. Stay always on the off side. It will, for a minute, but it's held up now. So what I'm gonna have you do is, first, second handle back, we're gonna lift it up, put the deck back down. Second handle back, up.
The one I did earlier, last?
Yep. We want to go up.
Yeah.
See, now we're holding the bike back.
Okay.
When it touches.
More?
That's probably all right. Same thing.
Was it here or up here?
We can't get up here, so we're gonna have to be right here. It's just a little hard on everything. Let's go right here. So grab your cable. Middle handle. Down. All the way down. Okay, second handle back. Slowly push it down. We don't want that bike to go forward. You're good, just don't do anything jerky. Okay, come kick me loose. I'll walk it up here. Here's this before we get too carried away. Middle handle down. Oh, you gotta hang on. Let me unfree spool that winch. Hey, go unfree spool that winch. I can't let this thing go. The little knob you see right there at the front of the bed, push it up.
Two out of the three, so we're just checking to make sure that we were still on board for picking up the last one. So my guess is Tyrone's probably back on his way for it. Tell the family, auto recyclers family, what the officer just said on this last one.
All right, well, the officer said we are way more awesome than Tyrone because he only got 2 on his truck and we got 3.
Yeah, but his bed is shorter.
Yeah, he's got a 19-foot bed, and
he doesn't have me.
He doesn't have near as many straps
to help, and or straps, or guns, big guns. So, okay, that was just a little recap. Our batteries are dying, so I'm gonna let it go.
All right, Outer Sectors fam. We got everything unloaded. We got it here in the building. I'm gonna go over and grab the other 3 bikes and bring them over here and store them out. We got them all 3 in here. No damage, no scratches, no nothing. They all look good. I have to check back on my footage and make sure helmets are with the appropriate bikes, but pretty sure they are. But overall, it was a good tow. I'm gonna go get the other bikes. All right, Outer Sectors fam, I'm back today here. It's been a little while since this tow, and there's a couple reasons behind it, and I'll kind of touch base on that just a little bit. Kind of go over, what the deal was, what happened, what we're talking about, what we're not talking about, that sort of deal. Some of these tows are a little bit sensitive. This one isn't as sensitive really, but it's common courtesy, I guess, is probably the best way of putting it. Basically, this was an MC. These guys were out of the Northwest. They're good dudes. They've come in and picked up their bikes and everything by now. Got out of jail, all that stuff. It wasn't the end of the world, but there's some sensitivities that we gotta work with as a towing company, and we want to be a good steward to pretty much everybody. We try and work with everybody. I don't pick sides in MCs or any of that stuff. Basically, as a towing company, we're impartial. Our job is to pick up these bikes, take care of them, keep them safe, and release them back to their owners when they can come get them. It wasn't a big deal. It was kind of big news in a small town, in all honesty. But other than that, it wasn't a big deal. The guys were good. They paid their tows, picked up the bikes. There was a couple bikes that, some guys were getting out of jail, some guys were not out of jail yet. And so we had to work with them to get the right paperwork and get them released to another member of the MC. That sort of stuff. I kind of held off on posting the video just because we didn't want... There were some sensitivities with the situation on why we were towing the bikes and their situation that we wanted to be kind of aware of, and basically we were kind of just cautious about the bikes, the word getting out that we had these bikes. It's probably an overabundance of caution on our part, but our job is to keep the bikes protected, keep them safe. I want to operate this business, and especially the towing side of it, and we want to take care of people's personal possessions and belongings and vehicles, just like I'd want mine taken care of as well. So it was better for us to hold off on the video. We're still not mentioning which MC it was. It's probably people in the know can kind of figure it out, and locals can definitely figure it out because it was big news in a small town. But overall, it was really good. The guys were good. They were, we give them respect. We take care of their bikes, and they give us respect in return, kind of thing. They're not hostile or anything else. The officers were a little more cautious as well. These bikes did come in with a couple firearms with them, and our policy on that situation is if Highway Patrol or law enforcement gives us firearms with them, they'll clear them, and then they'll hand them to us. And so basically we take them into our possession, we bring them to our lot, we put them in a safe with a tag with the vehicle's VIN number and that sort of information, and when the person comes in to get it, we sign that over to them as taking possession of it. Just kind of covers our butt a little bit. And plus, I don't really want random guns floating around out in the yard or in our buildings or any of that stuff. It just makes you sleep a little better at night. In reality, firearms really are no different than any other tool. A hammer or an impact wrench or whatever. It can be dangerous, it can be useful, it can be whatever based on who has it. But it does happen. Some law enforcement agencies in our area do not release firearms to us. Some do. The ones that don't release firearms to us, they take them into their possession, they keep them, and that sort of deal. That being said, I'll relay a little story here. But we have had a couple firearms that we have come across in the commission of towing a vehicle. We had a Jeep that was rolled, and when we went to get the owner information and registration out of the glove box, we opened the glove box and there was a firearm in there. And so at that point we called up, it wasn't on the inventory sheet, so we called up law enforcement, the agency that had us tow the vehicle. They come out, they run the firearm, and it turned out it was stolen. Another one was another UTV that had been rolled, and it was stolen. The UTV was, well, the Jeep was stolen too, but both vehicles were stolen. And basically, same deal. We flipped it over, and it was lodged somewhere in the wreck, up into the roll cage or under the dash or whatever, somewhere in the rollover. And when we flipped it back over, it hit the floorboard. And we didn't see it till we got it back out to the yard. Same deal. We called it up. We called up law enforcement, the agency that had us tow it, had them come out, and they were actually looking for the firearm. And so when we called them up, we're like, hey, there's this firearm in this UTV, and they're like, oh, that's good because we've been looking for it. And I guess the kids shot up some stuff after they stole the UTV and the firearm. So it's a good thing. We always try and stay on the right side of the law, the right side of people's possessions. We try and be respectful. If people are respectful to us, we're definitely respectful of them. If somebody's not respectful, I don't tend to be respectful. And it's just, I like to say it's the Wyoming way, is you get what you put out. If you're good, we're good, and it pretty much goes with everybody in Wyoming. There's always some outliers in every rule. There's always an exception to every rule. There's people that are just hateful in general. There's people that give Wyoming a bad name. But I would say the majority of people in Wyoming pretty much go by the philosophy of, we give out exactly what we get. And if people are nice, respectful, kind, that's exactly what they'll get from us. If they're not, then they won't get it. And it's probably true in other places, but I can speak for Wyoming. As being born and raised here, it's the way I was raised. It's the way what my friends were raised. It's the way a lot of people that I've been around are raised. It really doesn't matter any of the hot button topics. It's really a matter of respect and giving and getting respect. Now that I've been sidelined or off on a tangent here, we'll get back to the main subject on these motorcycles. Guys come in, they were good, they paid the tows, they got them, we worked with them, they were happy. I mean, as happy as you could be in their situation. Wyoming doesn't really, or at least Sweetwater County, doesn't really tolerate the MCs coming into our area and causing trouble. These guys kind of just got some trouble, but in the big picture, they definitely were charged for it. Did I say they were excessively charged? I don't know. I mean, they were charged with what they could be charged with. They were happy to get out of here, happy to go home. They did say law enforcement was good. Once they got, once law enforcement seen the scene or understood that the pullover stop, the scene of the stop, was under control, they definitely calmed down and they were really good. And then the MC definitely, said that they were, respectful and they were good at that point. There's always a lot of unknowns when you're dealing with, a well-known MC that has reputations. And so law enforcement was definitely extra cautious when they started out, from what everybody has said. We actually did drive by these pullovers when it did happen. And so we seen them, right off the bat. And then we got the tow call just a little bit later. Tyrone headed out to get the first two bikes, and then we actually were on our way back from Green River at the time. So we headed out to the yard, grabbed the truck, headed back out over towards between Rock Springs and Green River to pick up R3. It worked really well. Motorcycles are always a bunch of labor. It's a lot of work tying everything down. It's, make sure everything's right and perfect, because these rollbacks are not designed to haul a motorcycle, really. There is some cradles and different equipment that basically is around and can be bought to cater to putting a motorcycle on it. Basically, it's a small, dolly, I guess. A motorcycle dolly is the best way of describing it. And it is useful. But around here, we rarely get motorcycles. We tow, maybe 1 or 2 a year usually. Most of the other tow companies, I think, pretty much turned this down. They didn't want to deal with an MC. They didn't want to deal with motorcycles. You know, it takes 2 people to load them, and then a ton of straps to strap them down to make sure everything's right. It's a lot of hassle. I take it just because, you know, it's interesting. It's a fun tow. I've never had a problem with an MC, and I've dealt with pretty much all of them. You know, the guys everybody we've dealt with have been pretty good, and generally, you know, I've never had a bad deal. And I'd like to say that, you know, I've had way worse problems with Karens than I ever have anybody in an MC. You know, the guys they're intimidating looking people. A lot of them are big dudes with a bunch of tattoos. I mean, I've had tattoos as well, and I just don't judge anybody. I don't care what they look like. I don't care, you know, how scary they are or what their reputation is. I judge people based on how they treat me and my people. And as long as you treat me and my people good, I'm good with it. You know, your money spent is just as good. I mean, MCs, they have top of the line bikes. The oldest bike in that group was a 2019. There was multiple 2023s and 2022s. So really, you know, it pays to, you know, not be too worried about it unless there's a reason to worry. Since I was always taught never to judge somebody by their looks or by anything else, by rumors and different stuff, you know, judge them by how they treat you. You know, that's what we do, and you know, we were extra cautious, but it wasn't a big deal. Don't make a big deal out of it unless there's a big deal to be made. There are bad people in the world, there are good people in the world, and most people are just trying to get by. So, you know, I'd say that's a pretty good philosophy in life, and I guess that's your 10-cent John speech for the day. But it all worked out good. Everybody's got their bikes. Everybody's happy. You know, everybody's whole. And, you know, the firearms that we did get, the law enforcement did come out, and they didn't want us turning them over to the people, which is a little different than usual. Most of the time we release firearms if they release to us, to the owners. But whatever, they wanted to release them to the owners. So we released firearms before the guys come out, or like right as the guys were coming out, law enforcement come in. We handed the firearms to law enforcement. Law enforcement took care of that and ended up returning them back to the rightful owners, which was a couple of the members of the MC. And so, you know, it all worked out. Hopefully the guys, you know, do well. I'd hate to imagine if they, you know, all the charges, and some of them are kind of interesting charges, I guess. Hopefully it's not a big deal for them, and they can go on there living their lives. You know, they were good dudes. They were, you know, living their life, and they didn't cause us no trouble. So, you know, I wish them the best. So, you know, as it goes for today, we're all done. So, thanks for watching.